Karazim have to be on point with his movement, and then Murden's got to be really solid in terms of the engages.
Arthas is a great warrior into Karazim comps.
Yeah.
Definitely. Not only because at level 13 and 16, you can get things like Trail of Frost into Remorseless Winter, which adds CC for days for Arthas.
Yeah.
You don't... When you go into a game against Arthas, you don't necessarily think, oh, it's just Howling Blast. You don't think of him as a CC machine, but as the game goes on, he really, really is. So you've got to be very, very fearful of those kind of potentials.
Yeah, Arthas is just that guy that can just stand there forever, and if you don't get kills and you start winning a team fight, eventually there is a tipping point where he just kind of takes over with the rest of his team, and you just start to fall apart, and you have to disengage, but that disengage is very hard for melees in particular.
And it doesn't help that there's so much slow on the side of Dignitas as well, with Rehgar being able to use... Technically, if we see Colossal Totem into Earthgrass Totem, that'd be cool. I don't mind seeing Lightning Bond at level 1. But then also Jaina, we could quite... I don't think they will go down the path of the extra slow at level 1. It remains to be seen what Many wants to, because he has a few builds that he mixes up. But yeah, it could be slow city and very painful city.
Well, it's game time. Let's find out how we'll do on Infernal Shrines. beGenius looking for a win here against Dignitas.
All right, so to the left-hand side, as beGenius, we will have Kirva on Falstad, Tank FTW on Ragnaros, and next up, of course, we do have Arakeen on Muradin, Danatan on Tychus, and Falstad being played by Kirva.
Bakery will show off Rehgar here on the far right. We'll have JPL and ETC. Haven't seen him on that hero in a while, but it's refreshing to see it. Nick here with Sylvanas. Mayday will be showing Jaina, and he has become a monster as of late on that hero. And Zalia will show off Arthas.
All right, so cool. Cool to see this comp come out, and they are looking for tower exploiting. Likewise, though, you can see beGenius is responding in turn with that. So they will push this away quite healthily, not really allowing that entire tower to die off. We're seeing more and more teams accommodate themselves, especially against Sylvanas play. You absolutely have to do that. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, it's become less about the chance of catching your opponents. In the past, you would put 3 people in one lane, and just help you catch Sylvanas, and it became this kind of like 50-50, maybe getting it. Now we see the 2-1-2-1s usually, with the rotation happening, and now you can handle that Sylvanas, you don't lose the turret. You lose out some damage, but it's worth the overall defense.
So we're not going deep chill, we're going lingering chill. So Mene just wants to have a little bit more slow duration than necessarily the slow impact. Which I can understand here. You know, the longer that they are actually slowed, then the more chance they have of, say, normal movement speed from Arthas, etc., to actually catch up with them.
Yep, big indicator too that we'll see Arcane Select at level 4. He's able to keep that mana topped off for him, so he's going to have ability to drop out his spells.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's very important to point out, because there isn't Malfurion on the side of this Jaina. Where we've seen Malfurion before with Jainas, generally some people can navigate around the idea of using some of those mana talents. But this Jaina here, I think Mene has to mix that in if he wants to keep himself on the map for a while.
Dignitas is playing aggressive here in the early game, which I'm really enjoying. The last time we saw beGenius on this battleground, it was an impressive start for them, as they were aggressive on bushes, always. And that's what Murden does give this team, the ability to go sit in bushes and be set up for those rotations, because he can tank through a majority of the damage that is here for the early game. So Dignitas, as a squad of 3 to 4, has actually been rotating and putting their tanks front to make sure that those bushes are checked before they do any movement.
Yeah, ECC is one of the big enablers for that for Team Dignitas. They didn't get it last game, but when they do get it, Jay is without doubt, alongside with Breeze, one of the best ETCs in Europe, if not the world, to be perfectly honest with you. So he understands when he can get those power slides in, how much he can punish with that, with the follow-up that he has with his team. Again, a lot of these members have just been together for so long. 4 of these members have been together for a long, long time. They get it.
Jaina does get Arcane Intellect to level 4. JPL goes for the power slide, will not hit. Arakeen comes in with the storm while JPL is getting punished here, but Arakeen is focused down for the moment. Kirva comes in from the side, does hit a hammering on Bakery. Bakery, though, will jump into Ghost form, be able to escape, and our teams will be able to disperse from the battle, but poke on both sides landing.
So Arcane Intellect coming in, as you mentioned, at that level 4. Jaina will have a bit of an easier time, blowing people up! Falstad gets absolutely snowed on, and that is going to be Tychus also falling down. Arakeen now under a lot of pressure. Blast Wave will be used to get him out of there. Likewise, Dwarf Toss, and he will be surviving. But now it's scary time, because where's Sylvanas? Is she with all of this?
Yeah, she's top lane.
Okay, this is going to be a lot of damage if they're not careful.
And Jaina can peel off and just be the one to push by herself. However, they're bringing Sylvanas down to the middle lane instead.
Huh?
Oh, they're doing the 39 strat. So instead, they're going to go pushing into different lanes, get the experience soaked up, and just force beGenius to come fight them, and just kind of snowball this first early victory. Those two picks give Dignitas this option to go this route.
Yeah.
So they grab Mercenaries in the middle, they have Jaina in the bottom, Falsa set up for an engage here. But nonetheless, Dignitas can grab that last minion whenever they would like.
And it's a constricting play. Very, very constricting this is. In Team League, you know, if you're with 5 friends and you know you've got a significant lead in terms of those 5v5s, with that kind of 39 to anything, 20 lead, try this out, because it's so irritating for a team like beGenius to have to just sit there and play this passive game and not, say, for example, commit too much down towards bottom lanes when they know that they're going to have to clean up a Punisher eventually. They don't know when Dignitas is going to take it, so that creates uncertainty in their mind, and they could be elsewhere.
Yeah, defense becomes much harder when you have the waves pushing into you like we do in the middle lane.
Yeah.
Tychus is rotating in. For an aggressive play, the stable got a few punches in for the fight. JPL power slides away. The Molten Core has been burned down, but Sylvanas actually does get picked off as Kirvwa comes in from the flight and picks off Sylvanas in the back right as she was attempting to escape. Mene has rotated around though, Howling Blast into Blizzard, and so Dignitas will take a kill.
It was a good kill, but it got punished, and now you've got to consider Sylvanas will be back. He didn't have Fly, right? Because he used Fly to actually get that kill. So he won't be punished too much in terms of the lane soak, I suppose, because he wouldn't have had Fly anyway. So that's, yeah, a small thing, but 1 for 1.
Well, they save their fort against Sylvanas, which is a major positive. Granted, they had the Ragnaros Molten Core available to help out with that, but still, a thumbs up from me on beGenius on that defense, considering how Dignitas orchestrated that entire engage.
And Sylvanas being away at the back or whatever means that the 3 at the front for Team Dignitas couldn't quite do as much as they wanted with that Punisher. Because obviously, 1, Sylvanas isn't there, and 2, they wanted to maybe try and go and reinforce. And if they don't collapse onto Falstad, then they're in a 4v3 situation compared to a 1v3 situation where they have to collapse. So yeah, it's good for them to just kind of back off and not do as much of that.
Well, now it's all about getting the level 10 here. Mercs grabbing the bottom. Snitch here to help out with the push. The turrets are the name of the game for Dignitas. They want to etch out and even bigger lead. They have a slight advantage already, but these turrets will help them get closer to that level 10. Meanwhile, Ragnaros has pushed the top lane, and Dignitas miss out on a couple minions of experience. We're going to have Zelia move up there and clear that wave so we can get that experience, but still, 10 is where we're going, and beGenius, they're holding on.
So these hard camps up towards the top now have gained in value because we already know that top shrine has concluded and has been used in this game. So this is why we're going to see them hold on to them for a little while, because they know where, especially if the bottom shrine is the one next to come activatable, but it will be the middle one, so they're not as valuable as they potentially could have been. They're still very useful.
That could have been much better if that was the bottom for beGenius, as they have ball stat.
Yes.
But the middle here will allow both teams to defend well. Jaina can go up there and clear that instantly. He's got 10 now. Bringer Frost, Ancestral Healing, Army of the Dead, Sylvanas with the Wailing Arrow and the Mosh Pit. Root comes out careful. Snitch is here to help out with that trade on clearing out the top lane. And the Mercenaries will push for Dignitas, and they can start phase here in the middle as JPL gets aggressive.
They're trying to get Sylv here, but trying to land a Stormbolt doesn't quite get it. That would have been a good kill, then to rotate down towards the shrine and actually put on some pressure. That's going to be a mosh pit on towards Tychus. They realize Muradin wasn't there, so Sulfura Smash is going to have to be the answer, but it's not enough. That's a 3-man Ring of Frost, whilst also Kirva in the backlines trying to gust them out of the way, but he's basically gusted some of beGenius to their death here. If they're not careful, they're going to have to get out. And yes, they do, thanks to a good Dwarf Toss and dash. But that was risky business.
That was an incredibly aggressive play. And it was all warranted, because Sylvanas called out, Stormbolt was used top lane on me. I survived. Go for the engage. So JPL went for the power slide in the mosh pit, and the only way that is stopped right now is if BTC dies, Sulfura Smash is used, or Mighty Gust is used. You have to burn Heroic, and they have to make a decision quickly. And beGenius, unfortunately, the communication was slightly too late, and it was enough to allow Team Dignitas to get that kill, and also set up for a major push here in the middle.
All right, Molten Core been popped, trying to bring down this, wanting to bait the jump, do successfully up towards the top. As a little bit of harassment coming from Kirva at the back, looking to put some pressure on towards Bakery as well as Snitch. But Arthas is walking around the corner here, maybe looking for Ragnaros as he comes out. Doesn't quite catch him. Another jump, any follow-up? No power slide coming out from Jay just yet.
Stormbolt does connect. Kirva on the sign here, poking. threatening to use Mighty Gust, so Dignitas will take their fort and happily leave here with a solid advantage, 12-11. Already, Arthur's pushing that top lane, so someone will have to get up there, or beGenius will miss out on that experience, which opens up Dignitas to move to the bottom right and grab Merc. Start applying pressure.
All right, so slowing down. Oh, no, we're not. beGenius looking to invade. They will not get this. Fly in. Gonna be the Gust. Kirba has to get out of there. He was used with Blast Wave as well. Rengar falls. A 4-man ring as JPL is trying to cordon off some of these members here. Arakeen and Unstable, very vulnerable at the moment. He will go down. No palm to speak of because he took 7-sided. Arakeen's gonna go down as well. It's a catastrophe for beGenius. They are on the retreat.
Solid pick, but solid fight back there from Mana, hitting that major Ring of Frost, focusing down the correct targets, taking out Ragnaros as well as the Karazim and Muradin. And now Dignitas with their Savannah still alive. Just head to the bottom and take a fort for free here. Great aggressive play from beGenius, but you have to worry about that Ring of Frost and chokes like that area.
Yeah, indeed. I think if that fight had maybe happened 3 seconds earlier where you Gust all 4 members, then you could argue that it might get value, but you still, as you say, gotta be careful of the Ring of Frost there. Very, very punishing, that move. And Jaina, you can see it in the numbers, she's done a lot because she's hit those combos oh so well. Mene is a Jaina legend.
That he is. Sylvanas continues to push the bottom. beGenius wants to get 13 here. Shrine phase should be popping up soon, and it will be in the bottom lane as we've had a Shrine in the top and the middle. So our teams will be setting up for that nicely. Dignitas is doing a wonderful job of rotating at the top and pushing in. Oh, I'm sorry, did we have the bottom phase already? So we're going to have the Shrine at the very top activity in the next 9 seconds. So Dignitas is setting up to take out this fort, get level 15, and go from there. The Heroics will be available, but so does beGenius. If they get 13 and make a move right now, they could still be on even footing.
I mean, so far what we've seen from Mene has been the best Ring of Frosts that we've seen HGC Europe long. We've seen a 3-man Ring of Frost. We've seen a 4-man Ring of Frost. All we need to do now is get it bumped up a little bit, get that 5-man Ring of Frost, and be happy. But I don't know whether that's going to happen just yet. I think the beGenius will happily spread out as they look to try and establish themselves here. Commandeer Odin pops, looking for a fight.
Boat comes out. There's Stormbolt. Blizzard on the left here. Zoning out Danatan. Slowly he maneuvers in, starts applying pressure. The arrow has been used. Mosh Pit is still available for the moment, but so is Mighty Gust.
Danatan did a great job of zoning them out, and he continues to do so. Once you push them there, as that wall has not been brought down, he just completed one of his quests actually, his level 1, then it means that it's very difficult for them to go on. Oh, that's a great Sulfura Smash following though. That Ring of Frost only catches 1. Kirba under a bit of pressure down to the left-hand side there by JPL. Karazim will fall. So now that they don't have their support, they're going to have to back out here. Molten Core is going to be used to try and rain down some fire onto this location. Maybe sneak a few of these skeletal minions, but I think this should go up to Team Dignitas since they have Rengar still there.
Yeah, Ragnaros is fishing right now. Ooh, another poke here. A root comes out. Howling Blast connecting, but Airking is able to walk away. 30-27 in terms of minion trade-off.
Now, I really like Molten Core and having it when you're on the defense against the Punisher. So it's kind of a bit of a scary trade-off to say, okay, I'm going to poke them down, I'm going to try and slow them down on the Shrine. This is actually giving them a small amount of time to get that back, but no, they're not going to give them any time. So Molten Core will definitely not be up for this keep defense. I would have loved to have seen that Punisher delayed for a small bit, so the hard camp would have timed out nicely with it, but it's going to be a long, sustained push in this top lane.
Yeah, it's definitely a hindsight 2020 kind of moment.
Yes, of course.
Naturally, Dignitas, with them having Arthas and Jaina, they're going to try and group up those minions so you can get the clear up, but Dignitas being aware that Molten Core was used, they spread out nicely to where the minions didn't group up for that runing quest.
Yeah, now the 2 hard camps have actually synced up with one another really nice. So not only is the Punisher going to be a big threat, but also the 2 hard camps after this are just going to be a big threat. So it works out. Things are locked down by Sylvanas now. Very difficult for them to actually clean up. Commandeer Odin has been popped. Dignitas trying to push on to this location and getting big damage done here. This could be game if they're not careful. They really need to burn down this Punisher, and indeed they will. But level 16 versus 15, and 16 is nowhere near sight for beGenius.
Yep, still a full level behind. Finally, the core starts to take damage here from the Punisher.
Kills
on the back left. Delia looking for more. Dignitas needs to get kills because their actual auto damage isn't that great. Watch out for the Mighty Gust. Arakeen is dodged on. JPL coming in. There's a knockback. Arakeen working in the auto as well. Zelia on the left will get ancestral kill here by Bakery. Arakeen is low on health, but no kills come for Dignitas. They go for the retreat. You have to be careful there.
Oof. A new lease of life for beGenius. They defended well. made sure that they didn't lose one of their warriors in the front line. If they'd lost Muradin there, that was almost lights out.
And a solid ancestral healing from Bakery. While Arthas was about half health, you want to be careful because Sulfura Smash, even game ending, it goes at about quarter health there for Arthas there. So the ancestral healing came out early. It's worth it at that point just to make sure you aren't going to be taken away because all the other heroics were burned. It was just Sulfura Smash that could have gotten a takedown.
All right, so Dignitas cleaning up mid, allowing another camp to push on with them. In fact, they're going to have 2 camps here. If they can defend this first one, where are you going to go, Dignitas? You're going to be going up against 16 very soon. And not as easy to really go for something. They're going to break down the side wall, or at least try to do that for a moment. That's so many minions to clean up, but looks like Dignitas doesn't want to get much done with this just yet.
Yeah, beGenius being on equal footing, 16 to 17 in terms of talents.
So,
play it safe here.
What do you think about the role swaps for beGenius from week to week now that we have Arcane in what looks like a full warrior role?
They're trying to find a winning moment for them, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Arcane on the roles that he's been on hasn't been really performing to what you would expect from him.
I agree with that.
So getting him on a tank, switching things up, is kind of what you have to go. You know, kind of set up on a roster when you're in the HGC. You can't change out your roster, so switch up some of your heroes and your hero pools, and maybe you can find success. And so far, it's kind of worked out. Dante's played well on the assassin role.
Yeah. They've looked better this series so far, and again, it's against one of the big 3 compared to their previous couple of series. So I like the swap so far, definitely.
Yep, put him on a tank and let him get the experience in there, especially on heroes like Muradin and Varian and ETC to a degree. You can make it work out there. Call out the communication, you're good to go. Shrine activating here in the middle.
ETC.
Playing cheeky here, power slide and watch. Could have been so grouped right now. Arcane wants to be grabbed. There we go. Hard engage on Xanatan. Power slide does pop up. Arcane goes forward and does get on top of Snitch. Nice play here by him. Punisher is going to be losing a few of the minions. 11-6 at the moment. Arcane jumping in though. Bakery sneaking away at the same time. Zelia on the left side. The Gust has been used and Dignitas is going to take the opportunity to switch it. Major Ring of Frost though. Ancestral healing here too as well. All members taken out for beGenius. Muradin sneaks away for now, but the 4 in the Ring of Frost all destroyed. And now Dignitas heading to the top lane will go for the win.
Mene the Freezer, he just absolutely refrigerated every single member of beGenius. A 4-man Ring of Frost, and oh god, I said it before, watch out for his Rings of Frost, and that was a killer. What a way to end that game. Team Dignitas will go 2-0 up here against beGenius. Well played.
Mene showing up here. Mr. Freeze from Batman. Just destroying people, of course. Chilling them to their very core. Getting a few takedowns there. What was that, a 4-man twice there in that matchup?
Yes, brilliant stuff. I think we can take another look at that actually
Check it out
as well, because that was just absolutely perfect.
What's important is the Mighty Gust got burned.
Yes. So let's watch Mene's positioning down towards the bottom here. Wailing Arrow forces them all to retreat, which then makes them group up. And the slide, the Ring of Frost, as we slow it down, everything comes out here. Even the Ancestral on a half health. JPL, just in case any little bit of extra damage follows up, because they know that after Ring of Frost, they also have Mosh keeping them in place.
Yeah.
Really, really beautiful play. The Wailing Arrow, though, was a great setup for it, because it made that retreat possible, well, at least forcing them back up towards that choke point.
The layered heroics really come in. The Arrow, the Ring of Frost, into the Mosh Pit. And then Arcane's like, I don't want any of that. Ran off to the right side. We'll be right back, guys, for game number 3 here.
It is said that I hunt alone, wandering these bitter lands, far from civilization. But in truth, I hunt with family One that I hold close. I protect them, and they protect me. I am Rexar, champion of the Horde. And I never hunt alone.
Heroes of the Storm. Play free and experience the new StarCraft-themed battlegrounds. Rated T for Teen.
Welcome back to the HGC. We're currently watching Dignitas as they are up 2-0 against beGenius. Looking pretty primed here for Catastrophic in a couple weeks.
Yeah, looking good. They seem to have their double warrior setup on lockdown here when Zaylia has to step into the shoes of that second warrior from time to time. Likewise, man, we've seen many play that Jaina. I love watching those Ring of Frost.
Yes. Yeah, those have been relatively insane. And again, it comes down to teamwork, right? The Sylvanas willing arrow into the mosh pits, the Ring of Frost. As Lucio's about to drop the beat right now. I love this music in the background, man. It's getting kind of hype here. As we love this new Lucio music. We'll be seeing him in a couple weeks with the new patch coming up. Let's find out the battleground that we're going to for our next game here. It'll be game number 3. Remember, we are in a best of 5 series. Bands, practice holdout, Warhead Junction. We have played on Sky Temple and Infernal Shrines. Game 3 will be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. beGenius will elect to choose the battleground.
It's a hard map to choose against the big 3, but I suppose you got to do it if you got to do it.
Yeah.
It's not the place I would go if I had to play against Team Dignitas by far, but they have to have something.
Well,
maybe we see a Chromie get pulled out. Maybe they kind of have something hidden in the pocket.
And in theory, though, the early game has been solid on both
Yes.
maps, I would say. And Tomb of the Spider Queen is a battleground that if you can get an early game advantage, you do have the ability to pinch out your opponents. So maybe that is our thought process here. Let's go ahead and move into our bands. Dig will get the first ban, and Dig will also get the first pick here, as this is the map that beGenius has selected.
All right. Are they thinking about a normal ban like an ETC, or are they thinking something a little bit more wild? Like even Azul. Even Azul on this map is annoying. They're going to ban out Tassadar. So they are wanting their opponents really to respond to their first pick more so than anything other than, you know, beyond the idea of a Tassadar.
Well, Dig seems to really priority just Malf and EGC no matter what. So this puts it in the court of beGenius to make the decision. Say, okay, you ban what you don't want to play against, and we'll take the other, no problemo. So what will beGenius ban now? They elected to go for Malfurion last time, which I wouldn't mind a Malfurion ban here, because now they have the ability to pick up Rhaegar, and we see a third support on Dignitas.
They could. Let's see. Beyond that, I honestly don't think there's other things that they should be looking at, really, in this first ban slot.
Not for this battleground. I can see a case for Sylvanas, because Dignitas plays it a little bit more than beGenius, and if they pick up Zul, then they could have a wave clear comp, where they push in their opponents, and Dignitas will respond back to it, but I think the automatic selection is to go for Malfurion, and yes, they do ban that out.
Did you know, as much as Malfurion is a Archdruid, there was the potential that Illidan could have been an even more powerful druid than him?
And then he went evil?
Kind of. When Illidan was first born, he actually had a different color eyes. I think he had golden eyes compared to silver eyes that most Night Elves have. And they all thought that that was just a sign of good luck and good fortune. But actually, it meant that he would have become an amazing druid down the line if he'd have kind of followed those teachings.
Wow.
There you go.
And that was from Sonaris, right? If he would have learned from Sonaris, it'd be
Well,
good to go.
Sonarius is actually Malfurion's Shando, hence, you know, Shando's clarity
Oh
and
my
things
God, my
like
brain
that
right now.
and whatever. And then it's like, that's why he actually talks about him being his Shando.
Okay, last question before Dignitas
Okay?
goes in. Where did the tattoos come from? That's the real question.
Where did tattoos
The green
come from?
tattoos that come from Illidan, where'd those come from?
I think they're
those
fell,
tiger stripes.
I think they're fell markings of
okay.
fell demon magic.
Ah, gotcha. All right.
I'm
cool.
not 100% sure on
I
that.
just wanted to go down the full thing. So Dignitas actually goes into Zul right away.
This is kind of what I wanted as the first ban, technically from Dignitas, but then they opted to go for Tassadar. So it makes me think that they were considering it as a ban, but just decided, actually, no, we kind of want that. So that's cool.
He liked beGenius, so he put a ring on them. Wow.
Whoa! You've just killed the joke meta.
We can't be funny for the rest of the day.
No, I'm
serious
sorry.
casting from now on.
I'll just do lore all day.
No, let's just go full
instead.
dread. Let's just go full analytical, man. So beGenius to the left here. We'll be picking up their first 2 slots.
Don't make me do a dread. It's like, well, there's kind of like a 23% chance that he's actually going to win this, but then he gets bodied. Like that's how I normally do dread, but I can't really do the American accent, so it doesn't go well.
I think that was pretty good, though.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's fine.
So now wave clear suddenly becomes a very big threat that beGenius needs to be worrying about. So in the first couple of slots, they need to have wave clear, and Gul'dan and Johanna, great options here to start the defense. Johanna with the wave clear, and then also Gul'dan having insane potential to help handle / the bottom lane and the rotation from Zul. beGenius can now set themselves up for a strong foundation. I love the response.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. I think it is technically great wave clear. I love it. The only thing now is, have they given up too much to Dignitas? Because Dignitas, while having Zul, yes, they could easily just go into something like an ETC, like a Rehgar themselves, not get choked out in support, and have a great frontliner that they feel very confident with on that aggressive rotation between mid and top. So as much as, yes, you can exert your own flair, they're going to go Jaina instead because, well, we saw many yesterday in the previous game. So yeah, this works too. This works too.
Yeah, they're just kind of helping out with the wave clear because Gul'dan will be able to hold too, but you want to be able to push all 3 lanes. Jaina will be helpful with that too. It's constant pressure. The more you can speed up the game, the harder it is for the opposing team to deal with Zul coming your way, and Jaina will help out with that. And then Rehgar, of course, is the support there that Dignitas is not going to let go through on the first rotation if the opposing team doesn't pick it out. beGenius will ban out ETC.
Very important ban.
Yeah, you don't want to run ETC in Johanna.
The only problem is now, though, is that Dignitas can happily just go down the Tyrael path and feel very comfortable as well. So I think a lot of warrior control for against Dignitas is like, what do we just not want to play against compared to, do we want to make JPL feel uncomfortable? Because he just won't feel uncomfortable with the current roster of warriors that you can go for. So yeah. Dignitas. Do you go Ariel as a ban?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because of Gul'dan. There's also the thought of Karazim. We haven't seen Oriel from
Unstable
beGenius yet.
No.
But it is powerful with Gul'dan. It's pretty solid with Johanna too. You can keep her nice and tapped off from a solid range. And she can go harder into the back line because you have the Aegis to save her if things do go haywire.
Headache.
The Morales banned instead.
Cool. Huh. Interesting. See, I don't mind that either. I mean, it does complement Gul'dan actually pretty nicely.
I'm asking Dignitas if they win via the Morales ban and see if they'll give us some info. Maybe it'll be certain strats. Maybe seen something in scrims. I could see a world where you do Gul'dan on the bottom.
I think they realize. So look at Zul, Jaina, and Rehgar. What else? They need a warrior, right? That needs to be just at a front line. And then what else do they have really to dive onto the back line? Not too much. So I think the idea of the Morales ban is that they're anticipating beGenius to have double warrior, and then Gul'dan at the back with double warrior and a medic becomes a god-awful composition to try and get onto a medic and a Gul'dan at the back. So that's probably their reasoning. But again, as you say, you can ask them.
Also, forcing Morales not to be a pickup with Gul'dan makes beGenius think even more about picking up Ariel, which makes Bone Prison that stronger. The cleanse being available that Morales would normally have. So I can see it. Okay. So I think you get Ariel here. Oh, they got Brightwing instead and Ragnaros?
So Gul'dan's going to play a bit more conservatively.
Much more conservative. I would say instead of Q build, you go Egg of Corruption here. Let's play in the back. poke when you get the chance. Very easy to stack onto the Spider Queen, especially with Brightwing being your backline healer. There is no dive yet for Dignitas to actually get towards that backline.
Yeah, it's, yeah. I mean, I'm expecting a Tyrael to come in, and then maybe something else to go with that.
What do you think about a Nubarek
I think
from Dig instead?
I think Tyrael and Noob would be cool. I think both. I don't think, because I don't think JPL would end up on the Anubarak. I think Azalea would end up on the Anubarak. So we'll see.
Because then you force beGenius to maybe go for a triple back line to get an auto attacker. And if you can get past Johanna with a Jaina Ring of Frost and a dive from a Nubarek, you can just eliminate that team every single time.
Between those two warriors as well, they provide enough constant damage alongside Jaina and Zul to really make it work. The Zebo and Muradin though. All right, so...
Wave clear is the name of the game for Dig.
Yeah, that's certainly true. It's funny how Nazebo Zul has just become this popular machine that actually is a thing. It's cool.
So this draft is completely out of left field for both teams, especially Dignitas in particular. We haven't seen this much variety from them in terms of wave clear yet here in the HGC, so obviously working on other strategies. Great to see here. While beGenius on their side, they have the Ragnaros, they have Gul'dan. They do have defensive capabilities. I'm just more fearful for their aggressive abilities.
I think the Muradin choice that Dignitas has gone with here is kind of cool, considering that I theorized Tyrael, but they kind of answered it for me in saying that they think Tyrael is just too flimsy against the damage that is going to come out from beGenius.
That's why we were thinking double warrior, because I didn't want Tyrael solo into this. And Muradin kind of is the best of both worlds. You get a Storm Bolt, you have dive potential available, and you have survivability, so you can focus on just pure wave clear.
What's the final pick? beGenius. We haven't really talked too much on it, but we'll just find out now. Greymane. Really a naked Greymane, to be honest, with only Brightwing heals there to sustain him, unless they go for the phase shift build and give him a big shield before he goes in. This is going to have to be a very safe Greymane play.
Yeah.
You're concerned, aren't you?
I am concerned. I feel like Dignitas has complete control of the early game. They have insane push. They're going to be pushing in towers. By the time we even get to level 10, there's a strong possibility that 2 forts will be dead already for the opposing team if Dignitas gets their turn-ins. There's no way to allow Greymane to go in for a deep dive, and if he does, there's suddenly spiders in his face, toads in his face, Bone Prison possibly hitting him, Jaina with the Cone of Cold, Muradin sitting on him as well with attack speed maybe reduction. At the same time, Greymane's going to have a really hard time. If you wanted to be safer and be full defensive, I think you pick up Vala here instead. It's fearful. It's pretty scary. It's a different mix-up, and I like what beGenius is thinking, but I just look over at Dignitas, and I see like a 70-30 win scenario.
Yeah, they've got a really strong comp.
Yeah.
And I don't... As much as Muradin has fallen off a little bit in HGC as a whole, compared to ETC, Tyrael, Varian, blah, 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 it's still good in the hands of JPL. He can still hold this as a frontline solo against, say, for example, a Johanna. Blessed Shield, I would love to see Blessed Shield for them to try and follow up on things. I actually think that technically beGenius with Johanna can control some of those turning points for a little bit during the early game, but as it progresses, Dignitas will